Hi there, Sharon here, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom. Welcome to day 280 of the Be a Better You annual challenge. This year we're doing one thing every day to be a better version of ourselves, a better human being. And this month, the whole month, we are focusing on the physical health and well-being for us personally in this challenge. And then for Supersize Your Business, I'm meshing them together this year. And for our Supersize Your Business group and for our business, we're considering the same thing. I've mentioned several times that I usually do physical at the beginning of the year, and it has a much more impactful results for me in that area. So I think next year, in whatever the challenge is going to be, haven't decided yet, I'm going to flip around and go back to having physical toward the beginning of the year. It probably won't be February because I did it in February for several years, and I like to mix it up. But maybe like March or April, instead of waiting until the fall, I'm going to do it differently. Well, today our topic is picking one challenge area, one area of our physical health and well-being that's giving us a hard time or that we want to see improvement in, or that's a challenge for us. And we are going to apply the SOAP framework to it. Now, of course, I did not grab my SOAP framework, but we're going to go through it over the next 4 days. So I think it's okay that I didn't grab it. It's a framework. I actually came up with this in 2020 during the pandemic. I was like, okay, this is crazy. 2 weeks was stretching into 2 months, and it ended up being more like 2 years that we were all impacted by the pandemic in at different levels, right? Some people were hugely impacted. Other people were impacted in that they were expected to do more. So it ran the gamut, but it absolutely positively impacted billions of people on the planet. And I don't think there will probably, I hope there will never be anything else like this in my lifetime that simultaneously negatively impacts billions of people, because I don't think most people, when it first happened, would say it was a positive impact. Now, as we come out of it and we learn and we look back on what we learned about ourselves, what we learned about the world, what we learned about all kinds of things, I think it always has, I always go and find the positive. So that's what I see in it, and that's what I'm starting to see in it. But there's a lot of negative things that will ripple through for decades to come. So what do we do, and what area of, and that's why I started using the SOAP framework. I always had like a problem solving, decision making bunch of tools or process, but I never sat down and said, well, what exactly is my process? How do I use it? What is it called? And I did that during the pandemic. Why? Because we had lots of time to do things during the pandemic that we never had time to do before, because we were too busy running through our lives. At least I was. And I think maybe you were too. So today we're looking at, and we're just selecting and picking from all the different physical health and well-being areas that we could choose from. What are we going to choose? Now, we can brainstorm a list. You know, I love the 10-3-1 tool, and I share it at least once or twice a month, because brainstorming is such a powerful tool. It gets us past that thinking where we're stuck and we have to do one thing or another, and there are no other alternatives. Because the truth is, there are always infinite possibilities and infinite ways of dealing with anything. So went to the cardiologist yesterday and got weighed, of course, because once a year I go and I get weighed. Now, last year, I didn't even write the number down because I didn't like the number. This year, I wrote the number down because I want to do something about it. And the number was actually better than last year. I think I'm down 5 or 10 pounds for sure over last year's number. And so I decided that my area that I'm going to apply the SOAP framework to, because it is obviously a challenge area for me, is my weight. Now, I don't usually like to measure my weight. I think it's not a good measure for me. But in this case, for the SOAP framework challenge, that is the area that I have selected to do. So over the next 4 days, I will apply the SOAP framework to that. Now, you can pick anything you want. You know, spend the last couple of days picking out different categories, prioritizing them. And so you can just look at your list from yesterday and say, or the day before yesterday, we did the 7 whys yesterday. So maybe one stands up in the 7 whys. It's like, oh, I got to do this first. But pick one, and that's all we're doing today. It's a light day for action item. We just need to decide what area we're going to apply the SOAP framework to. And then tomorrow we will hop into the S and start applying it. Any questions about this? Any struggle or challenge picking an area of physical health and well-being to emphasize and work on? Please just ask, and I will help you do that. There's so many fun ways to pick pick an area. Usually it's just asking ourselves a simple question and boom, we know exactly which area to work on. Like, I didn't even have to think about this. When I looked at my notes and what my the topic is today, I knew, boom, I want to drop 25 pounds. And not just, I want to drop 25 pounds and gain muscle, I guess I should say, or gain more energy and vitality, stuff like that. Because I know if I lose some weight, just by eating better, probably, and moving a little bit more, that will make me feel so much more energized and good about myself. And that impacts every other area and aspect of my life. So what could you do? Pick one thing. If you need help picking that one thing, ask. Otherwise, go out, make an amazing day. And I'll, of course, see you tomorrow.